The great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
G'day everyone, it's Apostate of Oz here, and little dog, she's in fine form. She had a tummy bug yesterday, but she's feeling much better, as you can see. Point of this YouTube post, came across it on a Facebook group. It's not anything, the latest Watchtower, but it's just an example of the way that the Watchtower is trying to sanitize its history when it might be embarrassing. Well, it is embarrassing, but for all these hundreds of thousands of new ones who have come in who have no clue as to the history of the organisation that they've been suckered into, because they'll never know if they only read as they're directed to read Watchtower publications, and only current Watchtower publications. Now, they're never going to know the truth about the organisation that they're enslaved to. So the point of this one was, I'll hold up this talk, you'll recognise it, we've all seen it many times. Millions now living will never die, which was a very, very famous talk that Judge Rutherford, the judge, a bit of a scam, Rutherford, the president of the Watchtower, gave, in which he said millions now living will never die. Now, that was really, you don't say. Never perform with children and animals, they say. Oh, well, we're Beauty and the Beast then. Anyway, that millions now living will never die talk was quite, as the contemporaries of the time have said, that the message was electric, because the World War I had not long finished. All those people died from the Spanish influenza. So, for them to pronounce that millions now living will never, remember never die. They're never going to die. It was quite electrifying. Now, I guess we'll jump to 2010, and it was in a Watchtower article of the 15th of February, and there, under the spirit of the bride, saying, "Come," and it was a study article. Yes. Exactly. All right. What it says, it talks about identifying the bride class and whatever, but it makes a point. It says in as far back as 1918, in that year, the public talk entitled Millions Now Living Will Never Die offered hope that many will gain life in the paradise earth. And that was given by Rutherford. So here in that's it. Forgot the point. Millions now living may never die. Puts me off. So what happened to millions now living will never die? There's a big difference between may and never. May is, that could be an example of, oh, it may rain today. But to say it will never rain, never is not ever, at no time. So how do we go from a very famous talk that was given, and the book, Millions Now Living Will Never Die, to the Watchtower there in a study article saying, oh, it was called Millions Now Living May Never Die, as if, oh, it's a hope. It may happen or it may not. No, they were conclusive back then. He said it will never die. I've heard the recordings, and he's contemporaries. Now, if you've ever read Faith on the March by A.H. Macmillan, well, he was one of one of Rutherford's cronies who was incarcerated with him for their martyrdom, and even he wrote. He was there, gave talks at that Cedar Point convention, and there he said that the judge gave that talk about millions now living will never die, and it electrified the crowd. So the message was clearly given, and it was clearly understood that millions now living will never die. It doesn't say anything about may never die. Even the Proclaimer's book, the one, this one, on page 259 talks about that that convention, and they quote about how many people attended it. They were mesmerised by the talk. Millions now living will never die. They can't hide that. I mean, even as late as 2009. So the other article was a 2010, and this was in a 2009 August study Watchtower, and it talked about from 1918 until 1925 the talk "Millions now living will never die," which explained the hope of everlasting life on earth, was presented by Jehovah's Witnesses in 30 languages worldwide. So they're boasting about how far and wide it was given, and how it was received. But now they're sanitizing it because it's embarrassing. Those millions living back then that will never die did die. Most of them have all passed away. To where, I don't know, but not to where they were told. So to the new ones who are perhaps new members of Jehovah's Witnesses, and I sincerely hope you get a chance to watch this, because you've told lies. You've been told apostates are out to get you. No, we actually love you. We want you to know the truth about the truth. We've learned that. We've found that we've gained freedom from cult oppression. But this is just one thing that, if you took the latest history book that they're all going to study in the Kingdom Hall about, it's even more. The Proclaimer's book is a condensed book of history that cuts out a lot of factual things. If you get the opportunity, read the 1975 American the yearbook, which was all about the US, and you read a lot of things. Read contemporary books, but like Faith on the March, William Schnell's book 30 Years a Watchtower Slave. These were people who were alive at the time and saw these things. And if you just rely on the sanitized copies that the Watchtower Society put out now, and even their latest one doesn't even mention the millions now living will never die, which was an absolute massive feature of the early 20th century Jehovah's Witnesses. So please, I really hope that you will look these things up. Have a look at jwfacts.com. It's in the trailer at the end of the video. We put the link there. Have a look at these sites. They only quote from Watchtower publications. I know they're called Old Life, but they're still produced by the faithful and discreet slave who supposedly has God's blessing. So they can't turn their back on the things that they've written. So please, I recommend you look them up. Look up yearbooks. Go to your Kingdom Hall. Hopefully the library still had them. I know libraries, when I left exactly 4 years ago, I was disfellowshipped. I was the library. One of my jobs was looking after the library, and they were trying to cull books out of it, but I always managed to keep hold of them and kept them. But look them up yourself, and you'll be astounded. But anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope it just helps you to see that in a cult. I know that's a horrible word to say, and you probably don't like. I didn't like hearing it, but it is the truth. You're being forced into, undue pressure to go along with a group of men. But anyway, it was nice to talk to you, and Dorothy had a lot to say. So look at me, say goodbye. Wait to the camera. See you later, guys, and thanks for listening. Bye bye.
I regret to announce this is the end. I'm going now. I bid you all a very fond farewell.